and welcome to the True North Show. I'm your host, Megan North. I am thrilled to welcome Tiffany Cano, the CEO of Highly Perceptive People Academy. And if that title intrigued you, just wait until you hear her story. Tiffany has been getting paid for healing since she was 8 years old. Today, she works with empaths, intuitives, transformational coaches, and workshop leaders, the very people who spend their lives holding space for others, helping them identify and heal their own blind spots, strengthen their boundaries, and trust their intuition more deeply. Because even the healers need healing. The people she works with are often overwhelmed, subconsciously guarded, and find themselves contracting when fear and negativity creep in. Tiffany helps them feel safe, confident, and deeply aligned so they can show up fully and open themselves to receiving more money, more love, and more joy. She is the author of Sacred Body, Sacred Soul, and the soon-to-be-released Love, Seen, Heard, as well as co-author of Women of Wisdom and the Art of Connection. She's also set to be featured in 3 upcoming transformation movie documentaries. So we've got Pillars of Power, which has just been released, and then Frequency of Miracles and Rise of the Lioness, which will be released later this year and early next year. And then, if that wasn't enough, Tiffany is the creator of the Soul of an Empath podcast, the Knowing You show, and the Highly Perceptive People online program. She is quite simply someone who has dedicated her whole entire life to helping others come home to themselves. Tiffany, welcome to the True North Show. I'm thrilled that we're having this conversation. Tiffany's been healing people since she was 8 years old, and the work she does today goes deeper than most of us could ever imagine. Hello, and welcome to the True North Show. I'm your host, Megan North. I am a purpose finder, mental health professional, and guide for those ready to return to who they truly are. Here, we explore what it means to live a life led by purpose, alignment, and deeper inner truth. Through real conversations, powerful reflections, and soul-led strategies, we'll uncover the stories, tools, and insights that help you navigate life's crossroads and find your own true north. So whether you're in the middle of a transformation, seeking clarity, or just curious about what's next, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Your path starts now. Let's start with, I'm sure, the one thing that I know everyone is thinking. So what does it mean to be a highly perceptive person, and how do you know if you are one?
Most empathic, the feelers of the world, right? Which I think you are, I know I am. We have these perceptions about life, about people. We have these things that we know. We bring in the elements of claircognizance, which is to know, clairsentience to feel, clairaudience to hear, voyance to see, right? And when there's that perception, we know things. It's like our intuition, our true north compass, you could say.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And so for you, are you all clairs, or do you have one stronger than the other? Okay. And they're all equally as strong as each other?
I'm all the clairs.
Right.
There's even a few clairs that I don't like most of the time, which is like the clair that has you
the
smell energy.
Really?
And taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, if you're around a lot of sweaty people, it can smell bad, or
yeah.
When I'm around roses, I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I'm happy to have it, this smell.
Yeah.
But, there are times when that one gets a little
Yeah, it can go.
Please turn the volume down,
Yeah.
guys. I need it down. Mute, mute, mute.
Oh, I love that. And actually, rose, like even though it is a beautiful smell, it can be a bit much sometimes as well, can't it? Because rose is the highest frequency. It actually vibrates at the highest frequency. The last, I've had a woman on this show twice, and she owns a company called Bloom College, and she's all about flowers and the healing of flowers, and she talks about roses a lot in that it's the highest frequency. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah. Now, the other thing that I would imagine that everyone would be curious about too is like, what's a blind spot? What are you talking about when you're saying that?
Blind spots are the things that are often in our subconscious, hidden from our, everyday way of thinking, that are influencing us at a subliminal level. So within that subconscious, there's often old programs, traumas, and old wounds that haven't yet been healed. For every 100 to 200 conscious thoughts we have, there's 11 million subconscious thoughts. And it's that 11 million that I tune into and see, because that's often what messes us up from being able to manifest the life that we want. You might be thinking positive, like, oh, I'm open and receptive to money. I'm open and receptive to money. And then underneath, and I'm looking underneath the surface, right, at someone's subconscious. And there might be wounds like your mommy and daddy fought when you were a kid about money. And so there's these like wounds and beliefs, and money's scary and money's bad and money causes fighting and money is dirty and, don't have enough of it, and whatever else that the inner child believed, that still might be vibrating at a subliminal level at this adult body, but we don't have the proper internal upgrade. And so that's what I like to do. I like to tune in to what's getting in the way of people's money, love, health, spirituality, relationships, and be able to get them aligned and congruent.
It's a little bit like the work that I do is the limiting beliefs. That it's quite similar, isn't it? That we take on those beliefs. And I remember as a few years ago, I had that perfect example of I've always got multiple streams of income coming in, and I'm always interested in lots of different things. But at one stage, so I had a permanent full-time job, and then I had all these other things. And at one stage, all of them stopped except the permanent job. And I thought, this is really strange. And so I worked with a healer because I couldn't see where it was. It was a blind spot for me. I worked with a healer, and we uncovered that I had, for some reason, my dad's belief system bubbled up in me that he used to say you can only have one job. Like he worked on the railway for his whole entire career. So his upbringing was you got one job, you worked there your entire career. And so it was really interesting that then I thought, oh my gosh, well, that's actually not my belief. That's not my blind, cleared it, and then everything flowed again. So it's quite interesting, isn't it? Just how, we can have these things, but then they can just bubble up randomly at some time because they need to be cleared.
Yes, it's not always comfortable or easy or fun in the middle of it, but it's such a blessing to have those things come up as a mirror to show you what still needs to be healed or upgraded. And I'm grateful for that. Triggers are not fun when you're in the middle of it, but the breakthroughs and the new possibilities, the new way of being, the insights, the wisdom that can be gained are so powerful. So powerful. And, when people are doing this path of consciousness and they're like, I've been working on this fill in the blank thing for 20 years and I still am not where I want to be. And they're, kind of complaining about it. And I'm looking and I'm like, they're only like 78%.
Yeah.
Aligned or congruent with that goal. No wonder why it's not working. Or even if they're, say, 98, aligned, that last 2% can mess them up.
Yeah.
It could be the difference between, meeting their soulmate and still being in the frustrated dating market. The last 2% could be, oh, I had this goal of $15,000 a month, but well, they only get 9. They only manifested that amount because that's what they could own.
Yeah.
So it's important to really do that inner reflection and work to tune in to see what is going on that's getting in my way. And then when you have somebody like you or myself who's not attached to your stuff, that can see and sense and feel what's going on, then it makes it really easy and fast to clear. And I've got a ton of different healing modalities and tools that I can pull from depending on what I feel is needed.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And sometimes it is getting out of your own way, right?
Yes.
And being open. And being open to explore, because I feel like sometimes as well, it's like I have that mindset shift of I'm going to explore what it is and let's work on it and be excited about it. Because, what you uncover sometimes it can be really basic and you think, oh my gosh, how did I not see that? Or sometimes it can be a lot deeper. So, I love that. And what about you? So what about you and your blind spots? Do you then have people that you work with that when you feel like you're in your own way? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Recently, I uncovered a blind spot about how I was rationalizing and justifying something. And it got me in hot water with someone important to me.
Right.
And so, again, like in the middle of the trigger, it is not fun. But seeing that, and then at first when I saw it, I was still defending myself to myself. And then I was like, wait. I would rather have peace than be right.
Yeah.
In this moment with this person in this scenario, I would rather have peace than be right. Let me own my stuff. Let me own that, here's something that I did wrong. That was my mistake. And I made, I made the mess. Let me clean it up for the things that are my part.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would imagine too that if that relationship, when we feel comfortable then in ourselves to be able to go to that relationship and say, hey, I've actually realized, there was something going on with me. This is what I've uncovered. Because I also love having those conversations with someone as well to say, I've actually uncovered this about myself. And then your whole relationship with that person changes, I feel, as well. Because you've been open and honest with them.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Wow.
Yeah. One of the things that I try to remember to do, and I didn't in this case, which would have saved my booty if I had just remembered to do a couple of these steps. So I'm trying to give you guys like the shortcut.
Right.
Like, number 1, is this the right time to have this conversation? Yes, no. If it's a no, move on. If it's a yes, like, is this person open and receptive to having this conversation? If no, move on. If yes, okay, well, what's the best way to have this conversation? Do I broach it in a text, an email, a phone call, wait till I'm in person with them? And then, like there's a lot of these little steps that in our human dynamics and relationships that if we don't take the time to actually ask these little nuanced questions, it can, sometimes cause even more unintentional harm. Because I'm sure, like you, I've been getting downloads, intuition, and messages my entire life. And I assumed, the first part being the bigger part of the word, right? I assumed that because I got the intuition that I was meant to say it. I was meant to have that conversation, and immediately. And wow, I learned that was not always the case. So my go-to question is, okay, I got this download. By when do you want me to take action on this?
Yeah.
And then how? And like get more granular and more detailed, because not everybody has the level of consciousness to even have a conscious or partnering kind of conversation.
Yeah.
And we can't just project our goodness onto somebody and project our good nature. Not everybody has the same skills or training or growth that we have. And it's good to just love and accept them where they're at and not try to change them or push the envelope when it's not, even appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And that's it's a really good point, because it's when we're trying to work with someone, or if we are trying to, give them a message, it is definitely also about our energy as well, right? It's where are we as well? Because we might think, is my energy in the right space to be delivering this to them? Are they in the right, like it's all about that energy as well. So, yeah, I think sometimes that pausing, and for you, when you said that you get that download and then you ask when, and sometimes I get downloads about people and then I'm told, this is just a little bit of inside information for you, there's nothing to be done here.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not my place to be telling them you should be or what you should be doing. It's their journey, right? Not mine.
Even in session, sometimes people will come to me. So I assume that they're open and receptive and they want all of, the information that is coming through me to deliver to them. However, that doesn't mean they're ready for it. So I learned that mistake too in my 20s and 30s doing, because I've been doing paid healing sessions for a long, long time and teaching transformation workshops for over 30 years. So we have to be kind and care about the person on the other side.
Yes.
Sometimes that information comes to us as healing practitioners just simply so we can include that quietly in the background of what's being cleared for the person. It doesn't mean that it's meant to be talked about, because it might actually make them feel bad about themselves or embarrassed or whatever.
Yeah.
So there's so many more detailed questions that we can ask when we actually get intuition.
Yeah, I love that. And I find I've had that before too, where I've been doing a healing with someone or a reading and things have come through and I know not to say it, but the interesting thing is that a few weeks later I'll check in with the person, how you're feeling after your healing or your reading, and then they'll make a comment and they'll ask about something, and then it's that perfect question that they're asking me that then I can give them that information. Like, I love that. I'm like, yes, because they were ready. It wasn't the right time in that moment. Yeah. I love that. So we've talked about the fact that you have been healing and had paid healing clients since you were 8. So, can you explain to us how that happened? How did you know at 8 that you were a healer? Was this a normal thing in your household? And how did it come about that you knew at 8 that you could charge people for this? Give us the whole story.
Okay, so first off, I did not realize that other people couldn't see energy, see auras, communicate with animals. I didn't know that as a kid. I thought everybody could. I thought everybody could talk to God. I didn't know that was more rare. And I naturally just knew, I could put my hand on an owie and it would feel better. Right. So I didn't know exactly how. It just felt natural. And I remember I was at my dad's barn. He's a horse trainer, still is.
Mm.
And we're at this swanky Malibu rich people barn. And he saw me doing something that looked like massage on one of his clients. And he's an entrepreneur and has that entrepreneurial mindset. And he's like, you should charge them $1 for 10 minutes. I was like, okay, daddy, like, and he's like, yeah, they can afford it. And that was just kind of how it started, like something fairly innocent. He didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I actually, when he found out when I was a teenager and he actually found out more about my healing nature and seeing energy and stuff, he made fun of it.
Really?
And teased me a lot. Yeah. He was kind of cruel in that sense.
Wow.
And then later in my 30s, he started to become more clairvoyant and started to see certain things like spirits and whatnot. And now all of a sudden he was curious and accepting of my nature. And even asked me to like do a reading on one of or a couple of his horses and, readings and healings on a few of his horses. And so that was a big shift. Now, my mom, my whole life was super supportive. We did a lot of training together for spiritual classes, holistic healing. From early onward, like early teens, I was doing trainings and stuff with my mom for things like, and also reading her books because I just loved anything that was spiritual and like personal development. Mm-hmm. I read personal development books as a teenager. Wow. I don't know how many do that these days, but I did.
Yeah.
Like Conversations with God's book came out when I was a teen, the first one. And I was like, finally, someone gets me, to be able to like talk to God.
Yeah.
But I was learning things like laying on of hands and reflexology and gemstone healing and shamanism and Reiki. And then I went to college for sports medicine. And I thought I was going to like blend Eastern and Western, but I really just liked all the metaphysical stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that. I launched into it. I became a pranic healing instructor all throughout my 20s. Then I learned other things too, like Sedona release, EFT, NLP, Summit transformation. I mean, I have a huge list of trainings because I love learning. And when I learn, I apply them within myself, what fits. And then I help pull out a tool when I'm with clients to say, hey, maybe this one would be a good help for you in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And so was your mum like a practitioner as well, or did she just do these things and all those courses because she was just really interested?
My mom liked to learn, but she didn't like to be a practitioner. Right. She was more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
She did manage a holistic healing center when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And she did reflexology and gemstone healing at that time. And then, pranic healing and, but she didn't want to do it professionally. She really just wanted to support me. Mm-hmm. Like after I graduated from college, I opened up with my mom's help a holistic healing center.
Right.
And that was like my big dream up until then, and it was awesome. Yeah. I had weekly healing clinics and meditations and pranic healers and massage therapists, reflexologists, Chinese herbal doctor, chiropractor. I mean, we had all these different practitioners there, and it was so great at first. And then this travel bug got ignited in me and I just wanted to travel the world. So I then, I turned over the reins a few years later. Maybe it was in my late 20s by then. I turned over the reins to the chiropractor and then I just rented from him when I wanted to use it.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Mm.
And ever since then, I've just done distant healings. I've taught so many workshops and still do every week.
Yeah.
I have my embodiment program for conscious creation, love and empowerment. And we do deep dives on really important topics. Like right now, we're doing 2.5 months on healthy boundaries. We did, 2 to 3 months on I am safe. Trust series, like trusting yourself, trusting others, trusting the divine. I am worthy series, a prosperity one, self-care. Because if you don't take the time to anchor it in you, those long-lasting changes don't happen.
Yeah.
That's why I infuse it into my embodiment program.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. That's it, because we can do all of this work and the energy work, but still in our head. But if we don't feel it and we don't get aligned to it and then we don't embody it, then it sits still in our head, right? But
Right.
we're not then living it per se. Yeah. And so obviously this is the True North Show and we talk about purpose. So when you were that 8-year-old girl and you started on this journey, did you know that this was your purpose?
Well, when I was that age, I wanted to be a veterinarian or an astronaut, but I have always had this heart to serve.
Yeah.
And I've just explored, well, how can I serve? What's the best way to serve? I live my life just being love and service, and then ask the divine, okay, show me how you want me to serve, when, where, how, with whom, in what ways, and then do that. I'm not super attached to how I do it or with whom. I just
you're just divinely guided. Yeah, I love that. That's really
cool. And speaking of listening to divine messages, I got the push for movies. Like my personality would rather be in a meditation cave and just doing Zoom classes and, like in my little bubble. But I had 2 different people approach me about being in transformation documentary movies within 2 days of each other.
Wow, 2 days.
Yep. And the first one, I just blew it off. I was like, I don't want to do it. Second one, I was like, wait a second. Are you trying to tell me something, God? And then I had a full-blown tantrum about it. I was like, I don't want to. My inner child that didn't want to be that visible, that seen, that was just too scary. And then I emptied, I released, and I got as clear as I could and surrendered. And I was like, okay, God, I just want to love and serve. Tell me how. And I got the yes for Pillars of Power, discovering the hidden secrets behind achieving greatness. And that movie literally just came out a few days ago. And we're doing a whole global movie tour with, screenings globally at various theaters, companies, and media centers. So if you want me and our movie and the A-listers that are in the movie to come to your area, to your part of the world, just reach out to me. And on my website, which, has been popping up here, you can just schedule a time and talk to me about it. And then because I said yes, I took the action and I was living in divine action, right, for Pillars of Power. Then a few days later, I got the yes for Frequency of Miracles.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, stretch and grow me some more. Why don't you? And I was like, stretchy, growy.
I guess we're doing this.
And so I said yes there. And then even in the last 2 years since I said yes to those things, I've had to do a bunch, like hundreds of healings on myself and or having other coaches and healers work on me to feel safe to be this visible, because there's a whole new level of safe to be visible when you're in a major movie. And I knew it was going to be in theaters, not just go straight to a streaming platform, like an actual movie. And we have cast in those movies that are from the original Secret movie that came out 20 years ago, like Lisa Nichols, Jack Canfield, Marie Diamond, John Assaraf, Dr. Joe Vitale, Dom Dory Cordova was in some of the early documentary movies. Reverend Michael Beckwith. I mean, there's just an incredible cast in these films. And I was looking clairvoyantly at the audience as we were doing the screening, and I could see people's auras getting brighter and shinier and stronger and more healed. And I was like, okay, this movie with these people, the way it was edited, the movie, the music, the editing, like the storyline, all of it indeed is transformational.
Wow.
People walk away a different version of themselves.
Wow.
And that's something that I'm proud to be a part of. I am so honored to be, among these great, transformation leaders and spreading a message like that throughout the world. And then later this year, Rise of the Lioness, The Power of Feminine Leadership, and Frequency of Miracles will be released later this year, early next year. And I look forward to helping again in those ways, right?
Yeah.
When you live a life of service, it's often not an ego based life. I mean, there some people do that, but when you're truly empty and just saying, God, use me, I am thy vessel, God's going to take you out of your comfort zone. God's going to take you out of your nice little comfortable comfort zone and give you a shove so you can work out karma, learn lessons, and help other people, right? So it's a 3-for-1 kind of a thing.
If you don't want any of this, don't ask. Wow. I love that. So
if
beautiful.
I didn't ask to be of service, I think I'd be pretty miserable and unfulfilled right now.
Very empty.
Yeah. The wrong kind of empty.
Yeah.
Like the lonely, apathetic kind of empty versus I just get to be in the stillness and peace and quiet and emptiness, allowing God to just flow through.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Wow. And so, I mean, obviously you've got a lot going on at any one time. So what about your mental health and well-being? How does that play a part in your life? Do you have, obviously you're a healer, so meditation and connecting to God would be a big deal for you. But is there any other things that you do from a mental health and well-being that's really helped you over this time?
Definitely meditation is at the forefront.
Yeah.
And I want to get back into the habit of doing a one day, like a solid day of meditation and fasting a week. I used to do that.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to get back into that habit, or at minimum once or twice a month, and then I also value things like therapy and EMDR and journaling and doing inner reflection. I use a lot of neuroscience to work on my own beliefs.
Okay. Yeah.
And get those belief upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
I sing, play in my garden. I have an organic garden.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a real variety of things that you incorporate, that it's not just this one thing or it feels pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm starting to do more physicality. I've been practicing my do it anyways muscles. Like the things that I don't really want to do, but I'm doing it anyways.
Yeah.
That's what, successful people do. Or
You're great. I love that attitude. It's so good. It's so good. And what about grounding? Like, how do you do? Have you got any particular grounding rituals that you do? Because obviously, connecting with God and Creator and doing meditation, that sort of thing. Sometimes we can be in a 5D world, and we need to sometimes come back to this 3D world. So, how do you ground yourself? Is there anything in particular you do?
when I ground, I look down towards the floor. Eyelids can be open or closed. I send energetic roots from my feet down into the earth, deeper, thicker, wider. And I ground and I connect, allowing my core to feel more solid, more supported. So it's not just meditating and connecting above, it's also connecting below.
Beautiful.
When you're grounded, that's when you can manifest things easier.
Yeah, because you're present. Being grounded for me is really being present. Like, I'm right here in this moment. And that's when I feel like that, when we manifest the best, because we are completely in that present moment. We can feel it. We can, it's that whole embodiment piece. Beautiful. Wow. That was, I would imagine that because I could just feel that happening as you were doing that. So it'd be interesting if anyone, when people are watching, please put comments in to let us know that you felt that too, because it was really funny that everything has just gone really quiet in my street as well. Like, there's no noise. So it's really beautiful. Thank you for that. That was really beautiful. So why do you think that some people aren't living to their highest potential? Like, what is it?
Fear.
Yeah, okay.
Fear.
Fear.
Fear. Usually fear masquerading as some sort of wound or self-limiting belief, or negative family legacy or negative past life bleed over experience that is causing one of the 4 trauma responses: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fawn is the people pleasing one, right? It's not talked about very much. Fight, flee, freeze are, but like the people pleaser, like that's the one that has a lot of people not have their clear yeses or clear nos because they want to do something that they think will make the people in their lives happy, but they've lost themselves in the process. I also notice a lot of codependency and enmeshment bonding patterns happen with the fawn trauma response. Yeah. I would say my biggest one, though, that I still work through is looking like a deer in headlights and freezing. Yeah.
Because our natural state also is, as you said, those, the fight, freeze, flee, because our naturally our body is just trying to keep us safe, right? It's it doesn't know if like what you said before, being seen globally, being seen in a movie, your body goes, hang on a minute, we don't know
Yeah.
what this means. How do we deal with this? Like, hang on, we haven't done this before. So naturally that fear comes in.
Right. The brain and the nervous system short circuit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And, it's important to observe that.
Mm.
That's just kind of part of the human experience until things are more healed or transmuted, or you've built up enough of the right muscles, the do it anyway muscles,
Yeah.
for example,
Yeah.
to, bring that into your everyday world.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different somatic release techniques. I do a ton of trauma release work with my clients and helping to get their nervous system and their brain and their body and their hormones more balanced, because when you're in that fear state, it releases so much like cortisol and adrenaline, and then it causes a lot of health problems for women: insomnia, exhaustion, chronic fatigue,
Yeah.
kidney disease, high blood pressure. And most adults, unless they do this inner work to discover what are some of these emotional and mental root causes, they just go on, blindly taking whatever pharmaceuticals might be needed. And I'm not a naysayer on that. I absolutely think, there's a time and a place for both Eastern and Western medicine.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're only ever treating symptoms and not going to a deeper cause, it doesn't help as much.
Yeah.
Sometimes just treating the symptoms in and of itself is such a relief for people.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, hey, if you need pharmaceuticals, at minimum temporarily to help you, sure. Trauma medicine, if you're in a car accident and your body is all mangled and broken, absolutely get on pain meds, right? But to survive on that,
Yeah.
well, maybe there's some other things that could be looked at to heal and transform.
Mm. And, I think the thing is too, is that, I've been on my healing journey for a good, 25, maybe 30 years. And when you first start, it's tough. Like you really, and often when you start, you're dealing with the deepest, darkest things of what you want to heal, right? So it's not an easy journey, but what I love to tell people is the more you work on yourself, the easier it does get, because it gets quick. I'm sure you're the same, that sometimes things come up and I'm like, I already know what that is. Work through it, do a quick healing, I'm done, because I can work through things quicker now, because it's not the deep, dark things that I had holding me originally.
Some things I can let go of faster.
Yes.
But I would say what is true consistently is that I have more trust in myself, and trust in the process, and trust that I will be able to get to the other side.
Yeah.
And I don't need it to be fast. I just need it to be thorough and deep. And there are times when I just I give everything to you, God, and I don't even look at it. And then there are times when it feels appropriate to say, okay, where in my body am I feeling this? What am I feeling? What's the earliest time in my life that I felt this way? What's the memory or experience that this is connected to? Okay, let's do some clearing on that. And then that will give me the biggest, fastest breakthrough.
Yeah.
So it can, depend on the situation. I think for me, I had a lot of layers of numbness. So I couldn't even feel. I couldn't even feel what those deeper things were. So it's more like unpeeling the layers. And I don't like to say layers of the onion. I like to say the layers of the artichoke, because then you can get to the heart.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. Love
So
that.
I think I started wherever I started, but I got to deeper layers probably in year, 15 to 30
Yeah.
of doing the inner work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's still work for us until we get to enlightenment, and then yay, we're in
Yeah.
enlightenment. But until then, just sit back and enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Stop pushing, stop forcing, stop beating up on yourself for still having stuff. Just let go and, be the best version of you in the process.
Yeah.
Oh, anyone can do.
Yep. And just be really kind.
Yeah. To yourself.
Yes.
Especially.
Yes. Yes. Kind to yourself and then kind to others. I think that that's one of the most beautiful traits that anyone can ever be, embody, and give to others. I think just kindness goes a long way. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So we're coming up to the end of our conversation. I'd just love to hear if you've got a quick example of something that you've worked with someone lately, that they've come to you and maybe they had a blind spot about something that you were really curious about and that they've cleared that. Is there anything that comes to mind that you can share?
Sure. First thing that comes to mind is a female client who was having insomnia and just couldn't sleep. And when I was looking, I could see that her body was just flooded with adrenaline and cortisol. Her nervous system looked fried, and like some of the circuits weren't completing. And there was a lot of stuck, trapped, suppressed emotions, especially in the front and back solar plexus and heart chakra and Mengmen chakra at the small of the back and in the throat. And so when somebody, their energy and their spine are free and clear, energy naturally moves up and down. But when there's energy blocks, it gets stuck. And in this case, it's stuck in a pattern that was causing insomnia.
Right.
And then another one of my clients, she was tech phobic. She wanted to be, a coach and a healer, but was tech phobic and just would get so overwhelmed and frozen by anything that had to do with the tech side of being an entrepreneur. And there's a lot.
Yes.
We're in an online world with our businesses.
Yeah.
And so I did healing on her, but I also gave her access to my brain boosters. So my brain boosters have positive affirmations that go in right ear, left ear, right ear, left ear, right ear, left ear, like binaural. There's also healing frequencies. And so it's like a combination of neuroscience and positivity and like retraining of your brain beliefs and programs. So I gave her access to a few of those, like start and finish projects was the first one that she needed. Right. So I have like 25 different topics for that. Yep. I gave her empowering entrepreneur. I have so many different ones depending on what people need. Like if you need help with forgiveness, listen to that one. If you need help with money, we've got money. We have, ones for grief. God's will is my will. And you're trying to surrender. There's one on spirituality and intuition. There's one for releasing codependency. There's one for, opening up to love, opening up to miracles. Like those are just a couple that are in my brain boosters, and you guys can go, check out the sample for free at my website under Brain Boosters, and make sure you wear the over the ear types of headset for optimal sound, or at least earbuds when you do it. And then personal share on that. Since I started doing Brain Boosters and listening to those every day, I just pick a different topic. A lot of these I made for either myself or my clients or both. And I've noticed that my emotions are calmer. I am more mentally present, alert, no more like foggy brain stuff or very minimal. I feel safer. I feel more energy. I have more mental and emotional bandwidth and resiliency. Like, it's strengthening me in ways that I didn't even know I needed or wanted. There's ones on feeling safe to be seen and heard even, so there's a lot that we can do for ourselves that are easy and fast. And these are like 6 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, great. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Now we literally only have a couple of minutes left. So I'm going to ask you quickly the same question that I ask all of my guests before we finish the conversation. So can you share with us, maybe just in a few words, what is one lesson or truth that you've learned on your journey that you wish you had known earlier?
I live by the question, what would love say? Or what would love do?
Love that.
And that's, been the last 5 or 10 years, but that could have saved me a lot of strife had I done that earlier in my life instead of, my egoic drives.
Yeah.
But tapping into the heart. What would love say in this situation? Or what would love do when faced with the decision?
Yeah. Thank you. What a beautiful way to wrap this conversation up. It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing everything that you've shared today. I have been in awe of just being really diving into the whole spiritual space. It's been really lovely just talking about all the woo. So thank you for just sharing everything that you have today. I'm really grateful.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me and for letting me share today.
No problem at all. Thank you for joining me on this episode of The True North Show. I hope today's conversation brought you closer to your own sense of purpose and reminded you of the power you hold within. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who's also walking the path of becoming. To continue the journey, head over to megannorth.com. You'll find resources, support, and ways to work with me one-on-one. Until next time, keep trusting yourself, following your intuition, and taking one aligned step at a time. Your true north is never lost. It's just waiting for you to come home.